Hi, this is Jennings of agilitytrial.com. I'm going to do a little walkthrough of a typical novice level agility course. This is something that you might see when you go to one of your first agility trials. One of the nice things about a novice level course is typically they're not going to try and trick you or give you something that's real complicated. Basically, a novice level course is to make sure that you and your dog know how to handle each of the different pieces of equipment on the course. There are a couple little spots here that could give you some fits depending on your dog and and your style of handling. So we're just going to go over a couple things here and maybe give you a few hints on a typical course like this. Now, first of all, let's take a look at the start. Starting off with a tire jump here, and one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to line your dog up straight with that, because the first thing that you're going to have to do, they're going to take the jump and then they're going to have to cut to the left to head for the next piece of equipment. So what you want to do is try and set up your dog so that they can take the first as many pieces of equipment as possible with just a straight line. And so here we've got the end of the dog walk, there's a jump, there's another jump. So right about here would be a good spot to go ahead and set your dog up. Put them on a sit or a down. Hopefully you can get them to stay. If you can get them to stay, then you can actually lead out, and you can lead out maybe even past the first jump. Some people even past the first couple jumps. But if you can get out to here, then that's going to be a lot better, because dogs are typically faster than their owners, and so if we can kind of stay out of their way and stay out in front of them at least as much as possible, a lot of times that'll help them run a lot faster and a lot better. So you get your dog going, takes the tire jump, this jump here, heads for the dog walk, off the dog walk, jump up here, into the tunnel, and now here's where it might be the first tricky spot. That's because depending on how this tunnel is set up, the first thing that your dog sees coming out of this tunnel might be the beginning of this tunnel. And if your dog is tunnel crazy, and a lot of dogs are, they might want to go from this tunnel straight over to this one and miss jump number 6 over here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try and be somewhere up in this neck of the woods by the time they come out of this tunnel. And that way you can kind of give them a little push in the right direction so that to make sure that they go over jump number 6. Alright, then through the tunnel here at number 7, over the jump here, and heading in for this tunnel. Now, here's a spot where you're going to want to do a crossover, because if you don't, you're going to end up on the wrong side of this piece of equipment, and it's just going to be a lot easier if you can cross over. So if you were about over here somewhere, make sure that your dog commits to the tunnel, and then you can try and hot foot it over to this neck of the woods over here. Now, one thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your dog has committed to going into that tunnel, because otherwise, if your dog spots you coming across this way, your dog's going to turn, you're going to pull them off that, and they won't go into the tunnel. They'll get a refusal. One of the other problems, though, is to get clear over from this neck of the woods over to this neck of the woods while your dog does this tunnel means you're going to have to be pretty quick. Most people are not that quick. Some people are. I'm not. Okay, I'm not made for speed like that. So if you can't make it all the way over to here, next best thing is just get somewhere over in this neck of the woods. Your dogs are going to come out, get them committed to the A-frame. Once they've committed to the A-frame, then you go ahead and cross over behind them and head out this way. Okay, so you can either cross over here when they're in the tunnel, or probably a better way to do it is cross over right behind them after they've committed to the A-frame. Coming off the A-frame now, you're going to make sure that you're up here so that you can push them out a little bit toward jump number 11, just to make sure that they don't try and bypass over to here. Get them over jump number 11, 12, and then through the chute and cross the finish line. One thing you want to make sure that you don't stop, somewhere along about here, and have your dog come over and start celebrating. Because until you cross the finish line here, until your dog crosses the finish line, the stopwatch keeps on ticking and ticking and ticking.